the streets of Portugal, Alucard in the mist, with the shade of the blood moon, he is preparing our dawn.
Hello and greetings from Portugal and welcome to AlucardPina Trench. Since the launch of Enlisted on Steam was a real shit show and failed to bring in more players, especially Portuguese and Brazilian ones, I'm forced to try to make content in English. I decided to use a similar model, inspired by the unicorn guides made by Phantom and Tomahawk about of World of Tanks. Unfortunately for my mental health, I play a lot of World of Tanks, and without further delay, let's start the first unicorn guide. First of all, you have to understand that my opinion and vision of the game is based on my experience and hours of gameplay. You may disagree and have a different view. After all, we live in a more or less free world. But if you're tired of being an XP pinator for the enemy, you will follow my unicorn guides, so you can reverse the situation and stop being bully and be a XP pinator for the enemy to make the grind easier and have more fun. So let's get started. You should put your AI/bots in passive. When in this mode, they do not attract other players/bots and become more ninja-like while walking on the battlefield, and they don't stay behind chasing pseudo targets while they are massacred by the enemy. To put them in passive, you press the Y key and then press the E key. You only have to do this once per squad. In the bottom left corner, above the squadron element, an icon appears. If you are playing on a console and FPS, be aware that you are committing pure gamer blasphemy and should consult the options and see the controls. And don't worry, your squad responds to enemy fire and kills. Another very important thing is knowing how to use AI/bots to get more out of them. They are not very smart, and we have to guide them and think about them while we walk on the battlefield. We can press the X key to send them to a location. They stay scattered, but we can park the bots better if we press the K key once for each bot. We are giving separate orders, and we can park the bots better. When parking the bots, using the K key in reasonably hidden locations, we were able to use the squad/bots as a mobile rally point, using one soldier at a time. And we managed to increase their average life expectancy and experience gained by deployment. As I said, they are not the smartest. We have to be their shepherd. But over time they learn from you and start jumping more windows, using better cover, and even throwing grenades back if you do that a few times. When you park the AI, you can move a good 40 over 50 meters away from them. You always have some freedom to move alone. All maps, all caps, whether you are attacking or defending, there is always a house, a trench, a depression in the ground, ruins, or a destroyed tank, so you can park the bots. After you learn the art of shepherding and keep your flock alive and safe for longer, you will focus on the next step: engineers and rally points. Engineers are super important in this game because they can make rally points. They allow to put more bodies faster inside the cap and in front or behind them. We can and should have one engineer per squad in all squads we use. They are easy victory and experience. Games that you win always give a 1.5 experience multiplier. We just have to unlock them in squad upgrades. Don't use snipers or radio operators in the squads, because it's useless. We are just stealing space from other, more useful specialists in the squad. We are just wasting more resources that are scarce. Squads of 5 soldiers are very good for pastoralism and to spare silver, weapons, and soldiers, resources that are scarce in this game.
Let's get back to equal justice. Repeat.
Let's get back to equal justice.
Repeat.
Let's get back to
If you don't have an engineer per squad, you really have to rectify this big flaw. If you don't build rallies, don't use engineers. It's very hard to win games and get good experience. You are fighting the grind in the game, and you are being a bad teammate. You just watch the experience pass by you, while you become an experience pinata for the enemy, and it just proves that the problem is not in the game, or in the grind. Yes, the grind is big, but if you don't use the tools that the game gives to you to get experience, win more games, and have more fun, you should really rethink your experience in this game, and maybe delete it, because the problem is between the monitor and the chair, not in the game. And if you are relatively new to the game, you still have time to correct your mistakes and bad habits, and maybe you still have salvation, and you can become a true unicorn and enlisted, and stop being a permanent loser. Have no fear, Alucard is here, and he will show you the way to victory, the ways of Bob the Builder, the lost art of build rally point, and the mystique behind using the minimap. And for those who still don't know how to have engineers, I'll show you how to get them. You go to the research and look for the weapon that unlock the engineer's squad. Just follow the line of the first gun. It's the same for all factions, except in Axis, but they are special. And don't be a permanent loser and do research in snipers, tanks, or planes, because they won't help you get good at the game. You don't know the maps, you don't grind the squads, and you don't help the team. It is not the way of the unicorn. You can even kill some and gain some experience, but in 80% of the games, if you don't play infantry, help the team, get meat in the cap, build rally points, hunt enemy rally points, making the enemy pay for not looking at the minimap, for having built a rally directly behind the cap, you will lose the game and get less experience, and you remain an experienced pinata for the enemy and a permanent loser. So the time has come, my Trent brothers, to go to the battlefield with moral and hope renewed by the Unicorn Guide, and begin to master the pastoral art, parking your bots and guiding them across the battlefield. Start building rally points and help the team. Press the M key to begin unraveling the mystique behind the map. Go now and start to reverse the game that seems to be against you. Have fun. See you on the battlefield, my unicorn aspirants. Good games. And a brief goodbye from Portugal.
the streets of Portugal, Alucard eyed in the mist. With the shade of the blood moon, he is preparing our dome.